Learning as She Grows by Deja is a channel aimed at documenting my journey as a new wife, mother, and homemaker, while encouraging the women of the 12 tribes of Yisrael to seek the highest form of biblical womanhood by prioritizing modesty, marriage, and family. I'm Deja, and welcome to Learning as She Grows. Welcome back. Today's episode, I will be showing how I made cashew milk from scratch. So first, I want to say that this was not that difficult of a recipe. I did have some pre-soaked cashews. I rinsed them out, and as you see, I'm starting with some water. And from this tutorial, you'll see I don't measure a thing. I just pour till my heart is content. So there go my pre-soaked cashews. I did pre-soak them for a day and a half, and I just rinsed them out just to make sure any weird stuff or sediment is rinsed out of there. I also have some vanilla and some maple syrup just to sweeten it a little bit. I didn't add too much. As you see, I did not measure a thing. I'm just going with what I think I should be adding at this time. I also added a little bit of salt just to cut the sweetness a little bit. You don't want it to be too sweet, as I was using this milk for a pasta cream recipe. So here I'm just about to get to blending. This is really like the fun part too, seeing it actually turn like a milky complexion. Like, it really is super fun. And when I tell you, this recipe is super easy, and I'm saying recipe as if I used a recipe. I did not use a recipe. You see, I'm dancing, having fun. Boom. So this point is actually a very new point for me. This is the part where I had no experience at all. I've never used a cheesecloth ever in my life, and this was the very first time I've ever used one. So I didn't know what I was doing at all. So if you're a pro watching this video and you're like, sis, you're doing it all wrong, this is about to be disastrous, just bear with me. This was very experimental for me. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, like I just said. So here I'm like, okay, trying to get the grasp of it, and oh my goodness, you won't believe what happened. My face says it all. And there is the slow-mo replay. Yikes, what a mess. Yes, I was very hurt by this. And of course, Kaylani thought it was hilarious and was cracking up at my calamitous situation. And I was like, wow, I have such a mess to clean up once I finish this. But all in the spirit of authenticity and transparency, right? So I'm like, what am I supposed to do with, all this stuff now that is within this cheesecloth? Like I said before, I have never used a cheesecloth ever in life. So I'm like, do I just pour over top of this stuff that's in here? Y'all, I didn't even know what the heck was in the cheesecloth. Turns out it was actually cheese. Thank you to my husband for letting me know. You've just created cheese. So had to get all that out of there. And I just continue with the process of pouring the milk in the cheesecloth. That way I can just get the liquid in my measuring cup, and I'll be able to transfer the actual cheese into my little dish on the side. So this was a fairly easy process. Once I figured out, hey, make sure you have the cheesecloth positioned right so it doesn't spill onto the sides. Once I figured that out, it was very easy for me to continue the process of actually, transferring the milk and then the actual substance part of the cashew milk, which at this point is cashew cheese. So y'all, I'm just having fun with it because I'm like, why am I going to have an attitude? I just made a huge mess in the kitchen while recording this first time experience video of making cashew milk using the cheesecloth. But it was really fun to do. I did enjoy it. I will say the first time I ever made any type of nut milk, I used like a stainless steel strainer, and it did not produce that good of results. I think I used walnut milk the first time I ever made a nut milk before. And so using this cheesecloth definitely was a game changer for me. It elevated the process so much. And now that I know what I'm doing, I'm excited to actually try it again and start making other nut milks as well. And truthfully, I was very surprised at how much cheese this quantity produced. I used maybe like a cup worth of cashews, and I was just surprised that it really created this much cheese. I still don't know what to do with it. I did use it the other day in some grits I was making, and it did make it super creamy because I ran out of the cashew milk. But I used the cashew cheese in my grits, and it did elevate my grits, made it super creamy, super tasty. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I do need to learn though if there are like any molds out there I can use. Can I make it into sliced cheese? What seasoning should I use? So these are things I still want to play around with. But as you see, I did start to have fun with it, aside from the mess. The mess is funny now looking at it, but during I was like, really? But it's all good. I was having fun doing this. I really do enjoy trying new things in the kitchen, especially making stuff from scratch. I will say it elevates your homemaking toolbox so much when you don't have to buy milk from the store, when you don't have to buy cheese from the store, and you can just make everything at home. It's definitely a plus. So now at this point, I'm just scraping the rest of the cheese out of the cheesecloth, but I'll have to clean that later off cam, which is not a big deal at all. So yeah, just scooping that out, putting the rest of that in there. And now I'm actually preparing to transfer my milk into my container. So I'm grabbing my funnel here. I got my glass bottle already prepared, and I am pouring it in there. And let me just say, I hate when you pour something and the glass got it doing what it's doing right now. That really irks me. But just continuing to pour. This is honestly like the best part for me, pouring it in the glass and seeing the beautiful masterpiece that has been created by my efforts. Of course, that was me looking at the floor like, dang, still gotta clean this up. But boom, beautiful, love it, yes. Got some fresh cashew milk that I'm gonna use for cooking and also in my pasta sauce. Got some cheese too, which is a plus. I didn't know I was gonna get cheese out of this using a cheesecloth, duh. But look at the mess, y'all. I was really like, I can't right now. It didn't take much to clean it up, but it was just like, for real? But it was worth it because this beautiful bottle of milk right here, it was definitely worth all of the pain and annoyance. And here I'm just going to try it on cam. I was very pleased with the results of the milk. When I tell y'all this is such an easy process to do, anybody can do it. It's worth doing. You do not have to give these companies your money when you can make it yourself. Thanks for watching.